Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and this is another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time we're going to revisit something we've already been covering a little bit, but going to go into a little more detail, and that's the RatTrap device. And I'm going to show you how to get even more use of it, and that starts now. It's unusual that I've done this many videos on a single product, but I've been thoroughly impressed with the RatTrap, and I'm anxious for them to come out with one that I can use on my gig fiber connection, because with the way this is performed on my 200 meg connection, I'm very impressed with it. And this is the, let me move that out of the way here a little bit as best I can. This counter has not been reset since I put it in service. It's been about 4 weeks ago now. Now, in one of the last videos, I went over how to turn on ad blocking, and that's made a little bit of difference. As you can see down here, we've got some more activity where it's just as some of my, I've got a combination of things on the network. I haven't totally broken things out yet, but I've got some IoT devices, some computers. So it's doing, you know, a good job, because I haven't, the websites I go to, I don't see the ads probably as directly as I might say on some sites, like when I'm going to pick on a national newspaper, USA Today. Theirs have been heavily ad driven for a long time. I can remember one time when I had a VPN site-to-site tunnel go down because of a licensing issue, and USA Today brought it down because they fired off about 15 other connections once you got to the USA Today website. So some of it you may see, some of it you may not. But what we're going to get into this time is the parental settings and protecting things. So we'll go here to control panel, and we should be, I'm trying, my audio's dropped out once. I'm trying to work on that. We'll scroll up just a little bit more, and they have done, RatTrap has done a very interesting approach to this. And it's kind of an all or nothing situation, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You turn on the parental controls by enabling the web filter option. That's what's kind of is the on-off switch, the whole deal. Now, there are 3 different ways you can ramp that up a little bit more. You can turn on Google SafeSearch. You can turn on Bing SafeSearch, and this is going to drop out references to things that you probably don't want the kids seeing. And frankly, probably some adults shouldn't see some of these things. And since more and more people are on YouTube, then by turning that on too. Now, there's one other thing, and I'm going to drop the graphic here so you can see it. You'll click the update button, give it a couple of minutes because it's got to sync with the back-end stuff for RatTrap, but you know, give it a few minutes, and then you should start noticing some things. I mean, search for some things you shouldn't, and then that will be it. And this is something, nothing is 100% foolproof. Let's get that out on the table. But this is at least better than nothing, and I think it certainly beats the trying to put Net Nanny and some other, which I'm sure are good packages. But let's face it, the kids today are more and more savvy on how to get around on things. So if there's a way to get it bypassed or stop working, trust me, they'll find out about it. So this is up at a higher level to where that's not going to be an issue. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is raising the protection level as to what will be allowed into the network. And by default, by the protection level that's default, that's going to, it's still going to allow incoming traffic that it doesn't sense a problem. Now, if you really, really don't want anything in, then you want to raise it to high. Now, high doesn't allow anything in unless you were the originator. But so, I mean, it just basically drops the gate down and nothing's getting in. Now, that's fine, but say you've got some web cameras at home. You want to check on the family dog during the day, and that's something I've done in the past, and that has more than paid for itself in peace of mind, if nothing else. Well, what you do is you'll bring up the RatTrap portal and click on Allow Current Location, and you'll be able to specify how long you want it to allow your IP address that you're running the portal from in. Now, you can go with just the hours default. If you want it more, you can go to a day. If this is a permanent situation, say in either your office or you've got a vacation home, something where you're at a lot and the IP address doesn't change, then you could select forever. And using the portal, it will always allow that location through. So it's at least a way of getting you in to where you can see some of the critical things and still have the basics of protection. Now, there is another one called experimental or extreme. Now, this is taking it up to yet another level. It's using some information that the folks at RatTrap are continually pulling together and analyzing, and this will prevent you accessing from certain sites, so that if there's any, the commercial IPS and IDS systems have what they call a threat analysis, and that's not the right term, but a reputation, a threat reputation. It is possible that a site you go to may have gotten on one of these lists, and there's unfortunately no way that you can really check this at this point, except if you suddenly can't get to some of these sites, then you may have to back it down off experimental or the extreme setting. Now, you see some options over here where we got whitelist manager, blacklist manager. That's going to be covered in another video, because there's a change that's in the process of happening that I've already talked to the folks at RatTrap, and I'm holding off. They haven't asked me to, but I'm holding off because I want the changes that they're looking at to be in place and then be happy with it, because I want you to be happy with what's going on. I have been very pleased with what I've seen. This device has really exceeded what my expectations were, because I'm used to, like I've said in another video, I'm used to handling the high-end or commercial grade IPS, intrusion prevention systems, or intrusion detection systems. So I'm used to having the real robust systems and ones that businesses would use in place. And I didn't dream there would be something like this available, and it's well worth the money. There's a link in the show notes where you can get this. It should by now be back in stock on Amazon. If not, you can go directly to myrattrap.com and get it there. But the bottom line is, whether you use my affiliate link, which I will get a small commission on, it's not going to change your price, and I'd really appreciate it. But if not, please, this is something you need to think about, and especially if you're looking at the Traveler Smart Home that I've done several videos on, this is also a good choice for that as well, because it's yet another layer of protection. And at this point, it's a lot of peace of mind. So if you're traveling some and yet you don't want to take the protection away from your home, which really, there's some discussion that we may want to have at some point about when you're not at home, shut off your internet connection. That way, you pretty much eliminate anybody being able to get in, but there's caveats with that as well. So that's something that, we'll just have to see how things progress with the videos that I'm doing and other things we're looking at. It's kind of humorous to know, and I'm not picking on folks in Russia, but if you look at it's typically the United States and Russia that are staying at the top for me, at least because of my location. Now, if I was in Europe, I would probably see a different assortment of sites, but it's at least another tool in the toolbox to keep there from being problems. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me, because I'm happy to get on some sort of web conferencing tool to walk you through some things that either haven't been covered in the videos, or if they have, I'll be glad to go over things to help you get comfortable, because this is not going away. In fact, like I said, I'm looking at getting an additional one, because it has proven itself. And I really, I just thought it was magic in a box, and I wasn't really sure how good it was doing its job, but I have had no problems. Nothing is shown in the error logs on the firewall that this connection is on to indicate a problem. So it's well worth looking at. So that's pretty much the end of this video. I'll try to have some other videos out this weekend. I have finally gotten the proof in on this book, and I'm going to be doing some final changes and tweaks to that. The version on Kindle is already available. You can go to ronaldnutter.com. You'll see the links there, and I'll try to remember to get them in the notes for this video. And then once I get this one released, this will be, if I can get it pushed up this weekend to the printers, then it will be probably around the 4th of July that it will be available. I'm already doing videos. They're going to be linked to the second book. The second book is already in production at this point, because I had to cut things off for this one to be able to get it out, or I'd still be writing it. So thank you for everyone who has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't so far, please consider, if you're getting value from these videos, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you click on the little bell notification, and that way you're supposed to be getting any alerts to when I do put in a video up. And I'm trying to do about 2 to 3 weeks. So this one's going up on a Friday, so I've got 1 to 2 more I'll be looking to do over the course of the weekend when I'm not working on the book. Thank you for your support. And again, please reach out to me if you've got any questions, because I just want you to make sure that your questions are answered, and that way we can all be a little bit safer when out on the internet. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.